Welcome to the Bite-Sized Security Podcast, your source for practical online security advice. Join me, my guests, and sometimes my trained AI voice, as I explore ways to protect your digital footprint against the growing cyber threats. From mastering better passwords to understanding encryption and VPNs, the Bite-Sized Security Podcast breaks complex topics into clear guidance. It's time to take control of your online presence. You're listening to the Bite-Sized Security Podcast, unlocking solutions for your digital life. Let's get to it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bite-Sized Security. I'm your host, Marc David, and today we have a special guest with us, Savvy Sharma, a cybersecurity expert. We're going to delve into the MGM Resorts attack, a cyber incident that has raised serious concerns about data security and organizational vulnerabilities. Savvy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's jump right in. Can you give us an overview of what happened in the MGM Resorts attack?
Certainly, the attack was allegedly initiated by a criminal gang known as Scattered Spider. They used social engineering tactics to gain a foothold in MGM's network. They were successful in duping the help desk into resetting a high-value user's multi-factor authentication, which led to a near shutdown of MGM Resorts International.
That's alarming. How did the attackers escalate their access within the network?
They exploited a common mistake of password reuse and gathered additional information from LinkedIn profiles. They then configured an entirely additional identity provider in the Okta tenant using a feature called Inbound Federation. This gave them control not only over Okta but also over MGM's Microsoft Azure cloud environment.
What was the impact of gaining control over these platforms?
It was catastrophic. They deployed BlackCat, ALPHV ransomware, which encrypted several hundred of MGM's ESXi servers. This led to a cascade of failures, affecting hotel room keys, dinner reservation systems, point-of-sale systems, and more. MGM was losing as much as $8.4 million in revenue every day until the problems were fixed.
Can you elaborate on the role of BlackCat, ALPHV ransomware in this attack?
Certainly, BlackCat, ALPHV is part of a ransomware as a service business model. They provide professional services that Scattered Spider lacks, such as malware creation, back-end command and control, and even negotiation services. This collaboration amplified the impact of the attack, causing cascading chaos across MGM's operations.
That's a staggering amount. What could have been done to prevent this?
One of the key choke points was the MFA device reset. If it had been detected or not possible, the attack could have been limited. Also, IAM infrastructure should be considered Tier 0 assets, and their compromise could lead to a significant portion of a network being paralyzed.
What are some of the lessons learned and mitigation strategies that organizations can adopt?
Firstly, minimizing exposure of privileged accounts is vital. Implementing privileged access management solutions can reduce the risk. Secondly, improving MFA control by creating visibility into MFA device changes is essential. Lastly, protecting Tier 0 assets and adopting identity provider best practices can go a long way in securing an organization.
Could you share some of the critical initial takeaways from CyberArk Labs regarding this attack?
Absolutely. Attacking IAM platforms is a common tactic that threat actors use. It gives them persistent access to an organization and extends their privileges into more systems, causing more damage. The worst part of this breach was that MGM's IDP was configured in a way that allowed Scattered Spider to pivot into their VMware infrastructure. This is where BlackCat, ALPHV became involved.
Those are invaluable insights, Savvy. Before we wrap up, any final thoughts?
A series of mistakes ultimately led to one of the most visible and brand-damaging attacks in years. To mitigate similar attacks, organizations should focus on minimizing the exposure of privileged accounts, implementing strong authentication measures such as MFA, protecting Tier 0 assets, monitoring trust changes, and staying updated on evolving cyber threats. It's a lot to do, but it's crucial for organizations to continuously improve their security measures and follow best practices to protect themselves in today's digital landscape.
Absolutely. Savvy, thank you for joining us today and sharing your expertise.
It was my pleasure, Mark. Thank you for having me.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning into another episode of Bite-Sized Security. Stay safe and stay informed. Thanks for listening to another episode of Bite-Sized Security, the quick-hitting podcast serving bite-sized tips to boost your online safety. We covered a lot of ground today and easy-to-digest nuggets of practical cybersecurity advice. If you want to learn more ways to protect your data and identity online, be sure to subscribe for future episodes. We'll continue breaking down complex security topics into straightforward guidance anyone can apply. Visit our website, bitesizesecurity.show, for recaps and show notes from all of our podcasts. We hope these bite-sized cyber lessons have given you new tools in your digital security toolbox. This is your host signing off until next time. Stay safe in the digital world. You've been listening to Bite Size Security.